general public know say before you put your pikin in any enroll am in any institution, check say accredited. Because if you're not accredited, we not get no way for check whose kind quality, which kind of education that they do within the institution, and so that in itself they compromise on quality. So I go stop here for now, and then as the conversation then they go on, I will add more. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Madam Minister, and I appreciate you particularly concise and set the scene for we. Minister Saki, President Bill tell we now McKinney say government don't spend close to 2 billion since he can power on education. Would they feed about 1 million picking them? Would all recruit over 10,000 teachers? Would all add about 2 million learners? And yet the conversation, even we just open up, still focus on the challenges and the threats. Paint a picture for we. Of the threats there as you see them, and give we an indication of top line how you see we ability and the steps they would take for address the step then this the threats and this are.
Well, I want to tell everybody I do. I'm glad for they are today. But let me first of all start off by setting a context. The reason we make World Day today now because in the last week or so, I read the announced the results of NPSC. And as a result of that, I mentioned that we set aside 1,927 um, results, and that creates a big conversation. But so it's important that I set a context. You know, if we take the results we read, you get over 160,161 candidates. Then we take that exam day. The pass rate for that exam day now 78.2%. Anybody in this room, we don't go university, we doing exam na university, it gets 78.2%. The class of degree where you go get now first class. Yes, so 78.2% now first class you go get. So first of all, I want to take the opportunity for congratulate all them picking. We work very hard for make them the inside that 78.2% in there. I know say it not be easy, but they overcome all the odds for make them get to that 78.2%. I also want to take the opportunity for also thank all them teachers there which support them picking and they forget that results and they. So this is why I set the context, because whilst we get some challenges in the system also they do very well. So all the thing and way the president talk about in terms of the resources where the government do put into the sector, it pay dividend. So now I go to the real exam malpractice. So out of the 1,927, about 1,640 will constitute 1%. 1% of the people will take the exam. Not to say then go spiral or then do anything wrong. It's just that then school them, no submit then cast. Taking into consideration the data we may get, the result this year was very good. You get over 5,123 bikini we perform to 300 and above. So for me, if any of them pick within that 1,600 they apply to grade 8 school, the competition for getting to that grade 8 school is not easy. But the powers I get under the Education Act also give me the opportunity for I can release the result using the exam number. But as an educationist, I know say not to all man they perform well in exams. So the decision I make for withholding results now for the benefit of them picking and they. Because if now me I'm picking, I want them for get to grade A school. And so if you get somebody who gets a T-score of 298, you want to go grammar school, then the cutoff mark for that Sierra Leone grammar school now 300 and that would just say 303. That 10% we get by continuous assessment might move on from 298 to that 303. So that's why I hold that result. As I dey talk so right now, all the school them within that category they all don't go pay in a WAEC because and una might not know this. So this na school that where they pay fees. So this is another reason why I take the stand where I take, because if people end up paying them fees, they need to get the best results. So that's why I hold NCND. But in terms of examination malpractice of itself, the one the way they allege, say they get problem with examination malpractice, it constitutes something like 326 context. Because for the last couple of days, we don't spend time to talk about all of these things. When you look at really not a huge problem that we get right now for NPSC. But sometimes because people don't understand and think say that 1,900, all them became those spy. That's not true. Now only 0.2% when at 326 now the one in the nine account for the alleged.
Minister, you 5 minutes on done, but the 2 minutes we minister been left at the give, so you can use that.
So I think in terms of waiting at the measure that we will take now the ministry, I just want to itemize a couple of things that will come on board very quickly. First of all, we get a WAEC bill. The last WAEC bill will begin now be 1984. So we get a new WAEC bill now. We go criminalize some of the things that really happen now with system. The second thing also we want to do, we want to also get a civic education and campaign that is taken into consideration that this examination malpractice not to one person. There is a demand, there is a supply. Somebody willing to pay for make somebody commit malpractice. For some of them, PKR will get some of them primary school, some of them are then teacher themselves. Now then they help them. So not to the beginning and just get the agency for go see and spy. The third thing is I really want to make sure say this now a whole country approach. So we will really need for sign and communicate with all the relevant partners. So we all agree, say we put an end to this. The other thing is that they use quite a lot of digital technology. So when I tell you, say, for example, we get duplicates in the system, we can go over 300,000 data, and we can tell you almost duplicates and this. So we introduce digital platforms, and one way a new one where they come on board this year because every year we improve. And then the other thing we want to say is that for all the school where we know say they'll be involved in the examination malpractice, we go take punitive sanctions where we get the evidence say waiting and do wrong. So last year we suspend 58 principals for 1 year without pay, and that one and they continue to go through the system right now. I also, as you may know, that for Becker we even introduced the military for just make sure say we protect the materials that we'll get, and I will explain later why I do that and how we do it for make sure say them picking and not be intimidated. The last but by no means the least, every senior management team will get now will go through with toll free line for look at all the feedback we'll get from the public and take decisive action based on the feedback that we end up provide with. So let's stop there at this point.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Mr. Minister, so just to be clear, the 1,000 number, 1,640 results will WAEC, because the public reports that the results are withheld. But you say now the result, and now you the minister, now you say make the result they don't go out because they not satisfy the condition for make sure say they release then continuous assessment score and get them because the school they not submit and I make you withhold the results then.
Yes.
So as you say, we don't just be joined here by WAEC and SLTU and they come and I will introduce you properly later. But I just want to get that part declared. And then only about 300 we related to malpractice when it comes to NPSC.
That's correct. And I want to make a distinction. In education, there is a difference between withholding and setting aside. When you withhold something in any result, now where the process don't come to the end, but there is some suspicion, say some malpractice don't take place, now you withhold them. When you say you set aside, it means to say the process not complete. And if now the exam results no more will get, it's not complete. That's why I set it aside.
All right, so then picking in the would they expect say when in school they don't satisfy these continuous assessment scores, you go eventually release the results.
So the results end up being released only.
And it will be done in time for the school year.
Well, I just want to just make this other distinction. So we don't release about 1,100 to 200, I think.
Of the 1,600.
Of the 1,600. There were about 5 schools that will be left. Out of that 61 day, there were 4 schools we get duplicate code. So the results they already don't receive the results. So sometimes when you see absences, then one they go still constitute absent because then they back now another code.
Yeah? Thank you, sir. I'm glad the way you close out because I want to bring the People's Commissioner into the conversation. Whether not 100 but at MPSC, the idea say exam malpractice day at MPSC for the chilling to we all. Recently, you take the extraordinary step for bringing the military for ensure the integrity of Beke exams. Was not to for talk. Every year, plenty reports of widespread malpractice. And we will begin talking now. I said everybody want to talk about exam malpractice. And by the way, when they come to Professor Minister of Higher Education there, the universities malpractice plenty. And Minister hints just no say the teacher there, the handling kindidi say the parents there, the handling kindidi. I want to move the conversation to integrity when it comes to public or exams in general within the education system. Commissioner Kaifala, you don't spend a lot of time thinking about this, and you get the distinction for being responsible for encouraging we all for live a life of integrity in Sierra Leone within your prescription. First, maybe you can give me if I can push you for giving your analysis of within the drive malpractice and then offer some solutions for it inside 5 minutes. Thank you, sir.
Inside 5 minutes. All right. Of course, examination malpractice. That's something where we all aware.
Please ease the mic up small, sir.
We're all aware. Don't plague the educational sector for a long time. When I say a long time, a really long time. So not to think we start today. And we, in the commission, when we become commissioner, I can always say, I don't be ever think, say, one of the things we have to even worry about in terms of integrity, for concern, examination malpractice. But then, when I get to the commission back in 2018, by 2019, I was genuinely shocked at what I saw. The volume, the intensity, the planning, the coordination, the execution, and the deliberate undermine of the entire educational system, particularly by the very people we supposed to be the guardians of that system. And I make various reports and share this with the government. I remember the first incident was in 2018 where we discovered an examination hub in Aberdeen Road where students were taking exams 11 o'clock p.m. at night. And those exam papers were then later put into the examination packages and taken to WAEC from WAEC mark. And we shared those reports. And we saw that this is serious. And then coming down to 2019, where we all see the more graphical presentation of what happened, where we had to chase people everywhere in the country. Scorpion Squad activities and everything that led around it. We all see them. And then this is clear. There is an attack on the educational system on a massive scale by a coordination between principals, teachers, parents, and pupils, and with some form of assistance of examination administrators, including WAEC. And this comes from a serious desperation in the system because parents have found out that access to privileges, opportunities, success is tied to education. And their children to be among. Now, parents also know that many things lead to this success. Some of it includes money. So you have to have a lot of money. You send your children to a good private school, support them, whatever way you can, provide lessons for them, and a lot of things. But sometimes also genetics, brain. If your child is inadequate, you can know. If you tell you pikin with a class 5, 2 plus 2, it tell you say 16, mama. You say they know say this pikin problem there. But you still want that child to have access to opportunities, to grow up, to be a Chernobyl, to become an Alfonso Mali, to become the two ministers here. And therefore, you are desperate to provide that opportunity. And this don't create a market where, as the Minister of Education himself say, there's a demand and there's a supply. There's a demand from parents to get their children to access opportunities nationally at all costs. And there's a supply organized by teachers, examination malpractice, examination administrators, and other people. Now, the bottom line in this is we are in big trouble as a country. Because where principals and teachers are coordinating these things, the data we have at the ACC is terrible. Just now when I came here, I just gave the Minister of Education a report from Kenema, where we just did a random sampling in the last WAS exam. That means we don't have resources to go to all schools. So we choose out of, let's say 300 schools, we say, let's just go to 15. We recovered 107 mobile phones. From people taking exams. And almost all the invigilators had mobile phones. And the observation from there was people were writing exam results on blackboards. There was a coordination between the security sector, the teachers, manning the exams, and the parents who were outside coordinating with people to make sure that answers get into their children. Now, this is happening on a mass scale. It is pandemic. It's not just limited to Kenema. You come to Freetown, the story is the same. Everywhere you go is the same. Because teachers recognize that they can subsidize whatsoever inadequacy they are getting from the resources. One of the things they say, government not they pay, we fine. And they saw that parents are ready to pay a lot of money for their pupils to get access. So, in conclusion, we have a big problem at hand. Me, not a policy person. I am a law enforcement person. I am not one of those who thinks that we should be negotiating with teachers, with principals on examination malpractice. I believe that certain things are a calling. If you are called to do it, you either do it or you don't. And if you cannot, you leave. But you cannot be responsible for doing that job, and you are substantially responsible for undermining it. And that is what's happening to the examination sector. And I believe we all need to work together on the cross-setting purposes, pool resources together, focus on ensuring that the integrity of exams are maintained and protected at all levels. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, People's Commissioner. The conversation just don't begin for sweet. He say there's a grand conspiracy. I want to introduce two of the panelists that we just joined me. Ibrahim Bankapoma Kagbo, President, Sierra Leone Teachers Union, SLTU. Now clap for him. And then the commissioner mentioned the exam bodies. We get Saliu Kamara, who is the public relations officer for West African Examination Council. Why? Can I clap for him? So all man there. What will they do the next to quickly? It only fair. See, when the way they non put and so, let get at least 2 minutes for response. And I want for starts because I take waiting commissioner say, you see, there's a grand conspiracy against education. You see, by principals, by teachers, parents, with the candidate, and then, well, civil society will represent parents, and then it's a exam bodies. So, what do they do? Law starts with you in the middle, conference of principals. We'll go to SLTU, they will come to the university, and then we'll come to the wire. We'll go now, let's say 2.5 minutes each. Please give them the microphone on that side here, Mr. Kaifala. Thank you, sir. So, conference of principals. Is it true that the principal they join for puts this conspiracy for attack education na salon? What you go say to that? Waiting at the reason for this rampant malpractice and waiting on your role in that process there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. As we all know, Jerry, how the conversation they go, me, who sit down as chairman of conference of principal and the principal, the sitting principal, I not think say any principal in me own life go they in a grand syndicate for it will bring the very integrity where they try for protectors and administrator. I don't think so. Unless otherwise pass in the other world.
So what do you think say they drive this conspiracy and this widespread? What's not the driver from your perspective?
Yes, I am coming. I just want for there we just take the minister set a context issue. A man we very intelligent. Give a context.
Go Albert Academy, that's taken for granted.
That's right. So if we try for look in a real perspective that before this time, well, I remember, I think many in this room here, now people then we the seat O levels are not the worst. The examination business here, so where they come, we will be the good school. Where from 5 then the 6. You will see, say, then they bring the material, we understand the material that they bring and come now the box of the school. That show for say the principle na integrity. Because if you not to that, WAEC no go take all the material. He can't give them to the principal. In those days, I'm saying that the principal that they in charge, even when you not reach that stage yet for write the exams. Sometimes now then at school and they put blackboard and write exams in progress, no go area. So that they will not wait there or that were forms. If not they place it, then could have no for go the area then they did. It will interest you to note here, Mr. Minister, that me we see so who will be the kind of talk the WAEC office will be facing a taboo place. That road, that's our would be afraid they say WAEC. If one can't would pass round for look no good near WAEC no more. Because of the things that they may tell we. Then they mark the papers, then Ghana, Nigeria man, then they come mark the paper. Oh, this year, what the question one, they say, oh, Ghana questions, then they don't make sense. Yes, what happened this 1984 O levels? This is not a common thing. So you don't get no iota for get away where you go. The people say you for go find roads for come write exams. I'm sure most of you that are seated there, you will agree with me. Now coming to now, as I say, first at the beginning, me prefer say no reasonable principle. As I sit here, go get a coordination for let it go undermine the other head. So if you are going to undermine yourself, tell me. I nothing say. That's what you don't go the other wall or the other day. But one for say that the exams integrity is of paramount for the principal, who is an administrator. He wants to let the exam go on, unless otherwise some other things. Now with this analysis also, these days we don't see a whole lot of proliferation of principles, new principle. But in those days, you know, me know, the thing gets a strata. We don't come out college. Why make them say assistant? I'm not saying at the university every day. You are an assistant teacher. We come out first in college. You not to. Then I for tell you, say the boss man, the teacher, he is learning you whatever position where they give. Nah, they delegate. After 2, 3, that supervision day, then you can out to senior teacher. Then they begin the now senior teacher now go vice and all of these teachers are not sitting at the university also. That's what they happen. You know, but now you could just see somebody don't come out college no more. Well, na principal straight away without doing all of those things. And the process, na process where you need to be mentor. Na process where you need for learn and all of these things. Nobody even they wish to get for they need each other. Now
You don't pass 3 minutes.
Are they cancer? Sorry for me.
No, no.
Because
You see, the only way this conversation get for work, if I say 2.5 minutes, you try for stick to it. Otherwise, una all night able to talk for
all right, thank you very much.
2 hours. Una na teacher there, una na politician there. If I kill una we talk no more. So long try for stick to the time, yeah. So there, let's go to SLCU next. Thank you, sir. I think you don't introduce a very important point where the minister and the 2 ministers then will respond to. He said the standard, the process of appointment of school administrators. Now then just come on up, it don't become. So we'll address that. It's a very important issue to introduce. SLCU, first of all, I don't like the fact say you late for Candice meeting. I mean, I'm not like late. So I've been saying they call you out publicly and they were man. But you're there now, so we'll take you. Second, you don't hear all this talk. Una now they talk for teacher there, but then say teacher there. Now then they part of this grand conspiracy. What do you say?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I'm sorry for can late. I don't left from 1 o'clock, 1 hour. But circumstance make I reach here this time. So bear with me. Myself now one post you are not like for late. Minister Sabidande. We don't start program Vienna. We're supposed to come on time. He
send the fragments to the minister. Me fire and I throw and go ahead.
Now me witness. Not a fragment, not just witness. First of all, for start with Dande, quickly I go on for spend 30 seconds for say. In my opinion, the drivers of corruption are that one, salon we don't seem for lost integrity. That's now one. Second one, the misuse of technology is another driver. The third one, the conditions of service of people where they handle picking them examinations. Now another one. The third one, poverty gets a nexus to corruption. The other one, favoritism in employment, to an extent that all they want for seeing a paper, they don't want to know whether you get the skills or you get the capacity for perform now you rule the paper no more. So all man just want paper, they study. So this for me now the drivers. If you all like explain, you give me time to explain.
We don't receive the drivers.
The other one,
no go now to.
yes, sir. So I believe say yes, examination practice now a grand conspiracy. Everybody they play a role. And they start with government, which now government in role. Government in role now that one, they give the correct conditions, we go make the teachers them feel encouraged not for attempt or even do corruption. I know they condone corruption. The one them we don't deal with me, they no say I know they entertain than they, but the facts now they talk salon. If you not talk true, no more na lie you go talk. The anti-corruption commissioner, believe me, not go perform this kind of performance if na me salary they receive. I bet you. The role of public institutions.
Una know why make that clap una clap this so it's sad. Una all na agree say if somebody they be paid less, it okay for let's see. That be now una they applaud so.
Okay, but
now una applaud so.
recipe.
So when una do una go back online, una complain say, oh, where they call now the corruption all the talk so now una they applaud so.
No, Mr. Minister, now the
Yes.
facts then they applaud.
Okay.
It's the fact. Because to be honest with you, right? Where you pay somebody well is satisfied with the conditions of service.
But I don't think anyway, I will let you finish.
Yes, sir. That temptation for let it do otherwise go reduce. But I always one time I tell the commissioner when we meet in Abinchumani say the salaries now like unleashing the jungle justice in the society. Because me we sit on here, I always say talk and with all due respect to everybody, and I say I'm with humility, not to anything, with higher teacher certificates, with a bachelor's and a master's, and a head of school for over 20 years. My salary na 2,500, Mr. Minister. Stand fine. End of the month. Multiply 60 by 24, almost go left by my salary.
Mr. Kago.
Please let me finish, Mr.
I will. I'll give you another 2 minutes. I want to make a point where the commissioner will not make just now.
Yes, sir.
And I want to ask you for response to that point today so that we'll get balance in the conversation.
Yes, sir.
My mama and my papa didn't teach for a total of over 50 years. My mama na be head teacher. He teach for 39 years. He don't retire. My papa teach for about 20 something years before he left the profession. When they pay them in the 80s, the money not been they do for buy one bag dress. My mama been they go 6 months and not pay them under APC team. That's true. Anybody there way been they you know that. Then they go 1 year sometime. They not pay the 1 month. But my mama would say before he cheats, make he die. He go sell all kinds of things. That's why he raised me. You now you start by laying the premise. You say, the conference of principal boss. You say in the 80s, principal was equal to integrity. How do you square That's how cool they now. In the 80s, when they pay them less, we all can agree now, say the rampant nature of corruption up in there. So how are you making a public case that corruption is tied directly? And by the way, the evidence on that is not straightforward. The commissioner didn't have. We get plenty societies where they pay a lot of money, people they can still be corrupt. But people and they work now, but offices where they pay them millions that they still thief. So corruption and integrity issue. So I've been want to give that different perspective that I ask for. How would you respond to the question of, like how the ACC commissioner say, teaching is a calling. My mama and my papa for them. My mama and they are learn not for be late for. On my way then I always have my way go school for how many years? You know, one day take leave, you know, one day late for go work. My papa na be the same thing. I make my staff know if you late 1 minute, I vex my skin they grab. Because I learned those things from my parents, both of whom are teachers. So for let you, chair, president of SLTU, for Canada's public forum, and make a case that somehow it is okay for corruption because of condition of service, where by the way, the evidence suggests they don't go up, not down, since at least 2018. How do you square that circle?
Mr. Minister, I give 5 drivers of waiting they make examination malpractice they thrive. I give 5. Then they can't give you the role of every institution. I'm sorry because you are representing government, you don't go on to accept the fact.
No, I'm willing to accept the facts. I want to get a debate.
I know they wallahi, God know, me not they condone corruption. That is why every action where government don't take against any corrupt practice in the education sector, with a sit na the disciplinary committee, we always they support the actions then they. All right? But again, for be fair, for tell you, waiting now one of the problem where government for handle. Right? The second one, account to the parents. Parents them, because of the society how it is now, I don't really know why, but themselves they play a role because one, they know they press them, picking them for study, for work hard in school, but they want let them picking them pass. Now then they encourage the teachers, then come, they say, look, something we are me picking right from primary, then they go see the class teachers them, let me picking pass, let me this, and they encourage the teachers them, and the teachers them way not get integrity. I mean, then they take debate. So now the role down the way comrade themselves they play. The picking themselves, picking they no one work hard, they no one study, and if they get an opportunity for let them say they give them free mark, then they take that role day. So themselves they play that role day. The institutions, colleges and universities, now they the issue of where you submit assignments. If you submit out money, where they submit on paper, if you submit out money, you don't understand? Some students them no they even attend classes. Once you don't make package for the lecturer, you don't get so themselves and get the role for play. You also get the public institutions. Plenty public institutions that they succumb to political pressure. Now they sit down. I they tell you this because me I don't serve now several boards. Well, now they do appointments until letter list they can this list from so place. Take them people there. They don't want to know whether they qualify or they don't qualify. So person go just go get paper. You know they study hard, you know they get the skills. So all man that conspiracy where the party talk, now they agree and now they analyze for you.
All right, thank you very much. Lord Council, the Frabe College Vice Chancellor for Frabe College, University of Sierra Leone. The SLTU presidents don't add the university. They say the culture of corruption submits with money, assignments, money, pamphlet culture, In fact, there's also the sexual elements, particularly for female students too, when are part of the corruption at the university. What will be your contribution to this debate on how we address these specific threats to education at the country? Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Minister. Good evening. Me see corruption on all the practices there. We not correct as a cost-benefit issue. They get cost, they get benefit. And we man we God make they call we rational beings. If at all at the benefit on something, you know, and the benefit pass the cost, I get for go do that thing. The benefit, for example, if at all I not say if I get for do something, they're not gonna catch me. For me, they catch me, it hard. The tendency good day for say I go do am. Or if they catch me, they don't do me nothing, or they don't do me better thing. I will continue for them. The cost would be if at all, if I do am, they go catch me. The probability for me they catch me is high. That go make I not go and do am. Or if they catch me, they will give me very severe punishment. Where go they tell me go make I not go do am. So each decision, if you make that decision they based on the cost here or those benefits. Look for example, with the line they like. They don't go all around the country, they don't do investigation. But wait not be the penalty. They don't do anything. So it's possible for say post system go inside say, Mr. go back to salon and I cannot get degree, I say I get PhD, you know, they go employ me so say and they catch money. Because the benefits surpass the cost. So what me they suggest, Minister, that this issue of digitalization of the operations. One thing, now make in fact, I see for say the Minister of Education, they therefore push this issue around all the educational system that the country do. I mean, a number of things. One, it expand access. People that who say they not be they forget, they will get far, they know, they will get access to education. Second, it make the system resilient. Like when crisis be, like when we get Ebola, you could then a host out, they could teach you, you could still learn. But the most important thing the bear on this question we you ask is that it will make the probability of detection will be increased.
If Professor talk, you dey get a lecture. Thank you very much, Professor. I really appreciate that because you introduce the issue of impunity. The fact say people get away with it. Now impunity means. Adua. So even by the way, on the points where the SLT man make about corruption, this that. The points where Professor makes so now the bigger points. Poor people everywhere are capable of behaving just as bad as rich people. The question now whether if you go be held accountable when you do that bad thing there. So that's my question actually for you, Mr. Commissioner. The question of impunity. I want to come back to you. And then the 2 minutes are there. I want ready for response. Again, a question for higher education and as well for basic and senior secondary education. Yeah. How do we respond to this question? Say, people the way they cheat, will they catch them, will they left them? We know they hold them accountable. Yes, sir.
No, thank you. So, for example, examination malpractice na a generally administrative issue, not a law enforcement issue. It just can be say, for example, at that time when we intervene in that kind of way, was because we realized that administratively not much was being done. We make reports with the Senam and we will not be getting a response, so we get. So it was to capture the attention of the people. I remember in recent times, ministers sometimes don't call me and I say, no. Our role as Anti-Corruption Commission is not to monitor exams. We should not be doing that. We only did it at that time to draw your attention. Now that we have your attention, do what has to be done to fix this problem on a mass scale. So things like impunity, for example, we do reports, minister there all the time we refer to them. And if you read this report, you find out, say, there was a huge coordination, principals, teachers, parents, administrators, security sector, all of them working together. Are you going to take all of them, prosecute them at ACC and put them in prison? No, that would be a waste of time, a waste of resources, and it would be most ineffective. So it's a question of the administrative system organizing itself properly to handle this, and then to the recruitment of principals and the sanctions that apply to those who engage in things like this. Are they going to continue? So basically, when it comes to impunity, all of us have to do. Right now, we have a teacher in custody. This teacher, one WAEC supervisor, gave him papers to mark on his behalf.
Talk and pank radio.
So WAEC supervisor, they give WAEC, give him papers there for mark. They intake them paper there, give one teacher for help and mark. The teacher take the paper there, put the envelope on their arm. They go from house to house, they knock on the parents' door and say, parents, you picking Nancy Cisse seat NPSC, not to so. You say yes. I get a paper now. I want 300,000 euros, and they make Nancy take that paper back today. Then I'm a now. Before I submit to WAEC. We get that teacher there in custody right now.
Right.
So this, not to guesswork, and I've been telling the minister this before I come here. I say, me a law enforcement person. I'm not a policy man. I'm not there for negotiate salaries. I'm not there for negotiate costs. I don't even want to be part of the conversation around salaries. Me just believe, say, if somebody engaged in examination malpractice, that person there for be held accountable, period.
Full stop.
If you are not paid well, that is a problem between you and your employer. And for come here and sit down to listen to this, and I will tell Minister Gisno, you cannot be having a conversation on people cheating, and in that same conversation, we get a conversation on the salary of the person where they commit the cheating.
I'm telling you.
That is a fundamental error. And when I clap all you want,
Clap.
but you are clapping away your futures because these are justifications that are never going to end. Every money you get, every salary they pay you, you want more. So teachers are never going to be happy with their salaries until you all die and go. But you can sit down here when they say teachers are not paid well, therefore they are cheating, and you clap your way and you are happy about it. I am telling you, this is a serious problem. And in this conversation we get now, we are either talking about the solutions of dealing with examination malpractice and block out every other thing.
Thank you.
We just allow it to go.
Thank you, sir. By the way, the people the way they become examiner na you exam. The people the way na examiner them na WAEC, the teacher where they in custody now. When you go for le WAEC hire you as examiner for mark paper, you get contract with WAEC. Then they pay you for being an examiner. You know, still stop that person with the pay them. For let go around and knock and still cheat. The carry commissioner say you can clap all you want. Any country will not get a commitment on integrity. Not so integrity not get nothing to do with how much you are paid. They don't do multiple studies all over the world. But some of the biggest thief man are the people who they pay the biggest. The biggest banks, the owners and the thief man at the end of the day. You don't get nothing for doing it. You either have integrity or you don't. And they tell you, say, me mama, he teach for 40 years almost. Me mama. He sell all kinds of things. I come on school, I go sell kerosene. I come on people who sabi me, they know that. We sold everything. So you know go cheat. So personally they convince me, say, I cheat because they not pay me enough. Administrative sanctions. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I think myself the reinforce within check no say me self my mama and papa and I have a teacher and then working at the 80s and what he say, you know, this na age business, but what he say in the 80s you dey go months, you know, get salary. And wallahi, I can talk now confidently. They can record me, people in the scene at the diaspora. They're not one day involved for malpractice. My own values came from them. So that's not the first thing. The second thing also is a point that the commissioner made. You know, it's interesting. I was thinking before Kanayasi, me not the only minister, every time I the media, I dey get me union in a day at the same stage with me, along with civil societies, everything. So that is not a bad thing, because but what it mean? It means to say anything I say, there is a counter. You understand? What you mean? I dey beg the media them for do. You know, seriously, we don't make some serious inroads in education. I want to now call me, let's talk outside of this. We dey deal with this, but let's talk outside of this. The reason why they say so, the president in the next month, they be the key model for the replenishment of GP, the biggest education funding in the world.
Global Partnership for Education.
Global Partnership for Education. They get 190 heads of states in the world. Then choose them. Why? Because of the thing that what they do in this country. Like I look at TikTok, the Liberian minister, it introduced civic education. Just this last week now it took. We don't do civic education years ago. Then with the reviewer now. The Ghanaians are the talk now, say we begin teach speaking and Chinese now primary school. The Minister of Higher Education will tell you that we don't go, we begin a primary school, state schools, then they talk Chinese. Yes, the Minister of Education at Ghana, now they think about that. But let's address the problem. You know, when I start or look at what we do, I start off say we introduce a WAEC bill. This now for deal with them very same issue where they talk. The last time where the bill will be get in 1984, the year when me self take O levels. You understand? So we know we get the tools there, we give you all the and that with now. Just before this meeting, me and my leadership team, they review the TSA Act. In that act, though, they say the whole act now only focus on government and government assisted schools. Now they say we need for bring private schools inside this school because some of the problems that we get in our private schools. This will give you the teeth for really deal with this situation. But if you look at the Basic Education Act also, it spell out very clearly sanctions that we'll get for put against this. Therefore, you know, at the Yeri Alfonso 110 over the UK, they talk about section 26, section 82, and all that. And we get the rules. And let me say this, what I said to Najis now. I say 58 principle, we suspend them for 1 year without salary. So the action they take, even for worse, we don't sign another taking because we know all the game the way they play, which we own principal them. Now we wait for the results. Safu one, we know what in and don't do. And perhaps we will get them, I will turn at hand. But let me so when the individuals are caught, we they take action. Me and the commissioner they talk all time. But in addition to that, there is a difference between what you call malpractice, that are we picking duty way you're not supposed to do now the exam, bring foreign materials and waiting. I just Google this now. I said then they get malpractice now in UK exams there. Wallahi, then they get you Google and yourself.
Of course.
Yes. The second thing where they get now what you call maladministration. This now where the school itself condone some of their action. And in terms of action, the way they take, we they suspend centers. If we know say center they involved in malpractices or maladministration, then they open paper the term before the exam be and all that. These actions do we they take them.
All right.
And what will they do? Will they bring more legislation for giving more teeth for do this?
Thank you, Minister.
No, but like one more thing. I see people in clap where the SLTU person talk about salaries. Now, this maladministration who they deal with about people who will not submit, the failure to submit CAS. Now, private school, not to government, they pay them. Now, private school, not to government, they pay them. So this notion that if you not get salary high, for profession they now where they get them challenged there. But I know they see that kind of action within that. So for me, no fair solution. No, I don't get all the solution, but I can work with you now and collaborate for fair solution.
And an
But
anime could there, so we all go
yes.
talk about how together we all go address this problem. I want let we move slightly, Madam Minister, if you allow me, to internal control measures, because you talk about maladministration, but within the university sector, for example, who step then they will they put in place for make sure say we not get to corruption in the first place. Waiting that is something that we will need for do. So we don't need for even let the crime be committed for think about impunity, but some internal control. And then Professor mentioned this thing quickly while you comment on fake degrees. Waiting the university they do for make sure say if we catch you say possibly lie by your paper. Whose step they wanna go for take for against that?
Thank
And
you
then I'll
very
catch
much, Mr. Minister. So the first point about waiting at the internal controls them will get within the sector. So within technical and higher education is slightly different because we need to handle public exams. So the administration within the universities, as I said earlier, now they get them policies and the punitive measures of as a lecturer within a university in Sierra Leone, as a head of department, as dean, before I was appointed as minister. So I don't get first-hand experience as to how some of them so they unfold within the institutions of higher learning. And taking that into consideration, one thing we I firmly believe say we need for embrace now the use of digital platforms them. But it's not going to happen overnight. Now, but what they get a conversation there, so it's of value because me own greatest fear now for say examination malpractice, it's almost becoming a societal norm. It's just we always find a reason for justifying. When I the lecture, while they go inside the lecture room, my students will attest to this. I always say to them, I'm not just there for personal knowledge in my subject area. Most of them they look up to me. How I carry me safe is very important because to man I get for be the future leaders then. So while then they within we higher education institutions in, they're not for CCA examination malpractice and normality because that is what they will take into their professional lives and pass on to them picking them. So when do we break the cycle? Ask any of me students then. They know what I stand for. Examination 10. When I see mood high all the time, examination time, I dress like soldier man for going invigilate. Nobody they talk to me, and they laugh to nobody. And they know what I stand for when it comes to examination and examination malpractice. I get if there's a number beyond zero tolerance, that is what I have when it comes to malpractice because I know what thing that they will do to a nation. Especially now as minister, you see waiting the government don't invest into education. We cannot afford for ladies to become something when a part and parcel of we. So one way we can use for minimize this, unfortunately enough, for remove the human touch or minimize the human touch and use technology. Technology to help in terms of efficiency, accountability, transparency. Like I said, not to really happen overnight because it needs a significant amount of investment into resources. Then, what do we think? I forget multifunctional ICT rooms. Then, across all we higher education institutions. Then, multifunctional with adequate computers. Then, meaning we take count for exam, not to paper. You need to write a paper anymore. You go inside the examination, the multifunctional suite. You do your examination online. We get multiple choice questions. We get short answer questions. Your multiple choice question, we dey get random question bank. So question 1 to me and question 1 to Uda de Sidonia, me not to the same. So if I want
If
talk
you
safe,
copy now, save
if I
now.
want confess safe, now the wrong thing we dey talk about. So then they now one way down the for address them. You click submit, there's a marking scheme on the back end, immediately the grades are there. Short answer question, we all know about artificial intelligence. We dey train other countries, they train AI on the marking scheme for the short answer question.
Wonderful.
You click submit, the AI they mark, then the head of department can go in now and do quality check for make sure say the AI gets them right. So for minimize that, and this is something we don't pilot na IPAM. The platform was developed by a lecturer on IPAM. The students and don't embrace them, and we they work now with the institutions and the partners then for see how we can scale that.
And this is not very clap for. I see. But man has to pull back, say, hey, so we're not going for the able for the spy again.
Well, you know, surprisingly, where I go IPAM, where they show me this examination platform, I be they think say the students are not going to embrace them. The students embrace them past the administrators themselves. And then they tell me, say, Madam Minister, when we will get this now, other universities that will pay us and benefit from this.
Wonderful.
You also ask about fake degrees.
Yes, quickly, Minister. We need to move on.
Fake
Yes.
degrees. So we know the Dominion era. Mina being lecturer, and we all go do verification. We all go submit with degree qualifications them for lady institutions them verify say we degree they're authentic. Since then, nothing not happen to the best of my knowledge, or nothing. Sometimes things they happen slowly behind the scenes. But when I assume office, I been don't reach out and write to the Tertiary Education Commission say, let we go back and revisit that exercise day. Because when we do that, then people ain't go no say the one that we choose for go down that path, they know say we know they tolerate dandy within we higher education institutions, because now they are the finishing house for young people that we get for take up leadership positions and in the future. We cannot afford for entertain anything of that nature because of the wrong message we send.
Thank you very much, Madam Minister. Make a count to WAEC. The grand conspiracy, they go back to WAEC was named in the grand conspiracy. And I think say recently we hear no less a person than His Excellency the President Sef call out say WAEC Sef for play a role. We talk about internal control, we talk about digitization now. Is all the waiting our WAEC in your observation on this issue of the threats to education integrity in us alone, and waiting WAEC they do as well for address that. You get 3 minutes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Minister, and with the tell thank you all the previous speakers there now. I know say that this country, the moment we talk about exam malpractice, now WAEC everybody, but we dey tell the general public now. Of course, Mr. Ben Kalfella don't make some points them way I want clarify again. But one thing we are the assure the public, WAEC we get what we call integrity. And that integrity they we still maintain them during the conduct of the examination. The one the way they go at the field, they know. Because you they go at the field outside there, where they conduct exam, and the one where they just sit down in office waiting and they tell them a different with waiting you they see at the field. So we know say examination malpractice now a threat not only to the reputation, not only to the image of WAEC, but even to the development of this country. So therefore, WAEC not condone that. Mr. Ben Kelfala make comment on case na Aberdeen, we happened in 2018 or 2019. Of course, we self will get measures. The moment a center don't begin play examination malpractice, we know even if we not go to that center there, we get what we call measures there we will determine for say this center don't begin play certain havoc and we concentrate on that center there where the measures then they will not know. So we get a communique for ensure transparency in the examination, wherein the anti-corruption is a signatory, the Ministry of Education, SLTU, CPSS, now a communicate, and we know they move none of them we confidential material and they without security escorts. So therefore, when you get that intelligence, of course, we as the minister, they say, we bill will begin 1984, when they try for revise now and let them pass them. We will not get any power for enter na somebody else and do any raid. So therefore, we get the security forces then we get the law enforcement agency there. We they communicate their intelligence there. So either the CID, the police, and the anti-corruption. So therefore, we communicate, and indeed, the radar host day, of course, a staff na WAEC be involved. So law make and clear. Then from that next day, if they meet that staff day, in no one day appear again na WAEC because we know they condone that. So we get another issue again, where I want to clarify now, where we self-report 2024 marking, where we get an examiner will be the copy direct from the marking scheme. An examiner, a teacher, a lecturer back for that matter. We take them, we report to anti-corruption. We know they condone examination malpractice, and indeed they indict them, and now I know say it is served in prison sentence. So we do them. Then again, he make mention of this NPSC who will get the saga. An examiner again, who they talk about. NPSC na traditional marking. What you call traditional marking? You as the examiner. So like clarify, examiner they are teachers, they're not even WAEC they mark the paper. Now the teachers then from various schools with the
When they pay them well, with the mark.
With the contracts, then teachers and they for let them mark them papers.
But when they pay them separate
from the
normal salary.
Would they pay them extra for that service day?
Okay.
So the teacher would they give the question, the script of the candidates them, then go mark, then count them. Then this teacher, what he do, as the commissioner explained, he begin go knock then school and the way they get in paper them.
So man get
talk to
confidence.
the headmaster then they. So and indeed we still get people that we get integrity. Then call you say, hey, so examiner, oh na give na paper. Now you don't begin trade with them paper then they will trace the examiner, we report the matter na CID, then catch the examiner with the one way higher for the go to them school and the CID be investigate the matter up to a point where then transfer to anti-corruption. The commissioner they be a witness that. Now we they take them matter then they. So another stuff again in 2018.
Quick points where will you address. How paper can leak?
Yeah, the leakage of question paper, that's an assumption where me and you two, what we sit on I get. Because we know waiting the social law talk. Law come in. We get various forms of examination malpractice. We get various forms of examination malpractice. Let me explain. Not to how
respond. Go ahead, sir.
Now they think about leakage. Now so we the exam officers they think about leakage.
So explain to me now.
Leakage now when the paper come on, it they out to the public before WAEC they release and in custody. That we call leakage. We get what you call foreknowledge. Wherein when we don't distribute them paper there, the time for conduct examination don't come, we release the code, they open, they begin snap them, send on our social media, then they not to leakage, now foreknowledge. Where it don't come on our own custody. So that's any examining body, they tell you say, leakage and foreknowledge is different. Of course, you know, everything we self in at the social media.
But wait. Sorry, sir. I ask a very specific question. How paper can leak?
Now the question
or you want to say paper no want to leak?
Me no experience in this with age. Oh,
All right, so now allow finish. Land. Hey, okay. Now let's
a
settle down.
lot of things
Yes.
then they wait and they send out. Wait and they send out before the exams. Me self get phone. I they see them till then they 1 year they very recently where he send mathematics to me. He say in Peking and say na mathematics paper this we don't leak. Now that I tell her say Mr. Principal, Lord we wait the morning till we open the paper. Me self we don't get the questions at all. So open the paper because me be busy in the morning for it. Now in first call back say, hey, say Mr. Kamara, that in a fake. He say not to waiting there at the paper.
All
So
right.
this now some of the problem the way
Them. Lord Council, Madam Mary Julius, where they represent the school picking them. Now the PRO for Children's Forum Network. May you don't listen to all the adults and don't talk. Within this in the conspiracy way Commissioner outlined, it says school picking themselves there. Although you hear some of the teacher themselves don't say in they know work hard, then they clap who then give reason for corruption. President Bill for tell the story, say somebody do video, then send them to her. We say, President Bill, you say you cannot be spy when we go school. Let allow self spy. The pa is just petrified. Now, like what I talk to Christian say, we somebody they justify corruption for me, skin the call, especially from the perspective of a teacher. Because me, I know how my mama raised me, I know how my papa raised me when it comes to the end of the day. So President Bill, when they always talk about this issue, you know, he understands say parents go combat. How you go meet teacher being teacher? The first way for me, the symbol of integrity. Principal, he say, no, low arrange, I give you small thing, give me the paper, you go to. Then they so extraordinary to me. So what's in a picking the role inside this? And what's in a young comments on this conversation with you so far? Then we'll end with society that can now. Go ahead, Mary.
Good afternoon, everybody. Me, your name is Mary Julius, and just a correction. I am no longer the Deputy Public Relations Officer for the Children's Forum Network, but I am now the contesting candidate for the National President of the Children's Forum.
I stand corrected.
So for me, education, now knowledge plus skills plus values them. Where we get in this learning education, where we forget. And the topic, how do we address the threat to quality education in Sierra Leone? But before I go for the topic, would that we think say we for blame for examination malpractice in alone? Now, is it the schools? Is it the teachers? Are we the people to be blamed? Is it the civil society? Is it WAEC? Well, that's which I don't know. I want to know for Sina Salon also we get three types of schools then. We get one the multi-million dollar schools the way they pay almost million per term. We're not even the part of the system, the educational system. Then they take we own public exams them. And then we also get with private schools them where people people say expect to say if I post me behind this school also, me picking it for past exam because of the kind of amount of school fees where are they pay for this me picking also. And also we get the government schools them where some people like think for saying the less privileged schools them where some of we they attend. Who is to be blamed? Are the schools them? Are the ministry where change with syllabus inside just something like a year and then and then the next year. So the ministry will change with syllabus them from the old system, come to the new system to say we need for do if you did ask, you need to do mathematics. And then when we go SST, then count the curriculum back and say we need for return back to the old curriculum. And when small people are not be able to comprehend with that new system, then they where they be carried for the education as a whole. And also teachers them where they pay salaries at all time where they say okay me picking a lot just get a one lesson, one private lesson, or that focus on this private school because pay me more money. But let me just be just. Is it still the kind of salary they pay with teachers them? And then also, and then is it why social workers them they want to where they're gonna schools them doing examination at time they talk for say if we're not give me 200,000 for maths need to work my ass so or why securities them where they share us where they link us with because this year also English paper leaked and we don't sit exam say around 4 o'clock. Now they begin has me because not sit exam. We go for something like 2 hours exam. We not sit exam say 4 o'clock up to 7 o'clock before start for sit English examination. And then also I want to talk about we just talk about how to address threats to equality. I also got for learn for say picking them where they attend where
Allow listen, please. Yes.
children with disability, especially children with visually impaired, then picking they do not get class GSS level. So you think that equality for them picking and they were disabled? Yes, Mr. Minister, I will rephrase it again. You think say it is just an equality for picking them where visually impaired, where not get where just they say if you see MPSC vocational skills that they go land, they don't care for go again SS and GSS. You think so that equality for picking them as we address the equality of education towards children, all children in Sierra Leone? Because you think say it's just for like picking way okay, go be doctor. What if they picking also want to be doctors and they also get bigger dreams apart from vocational skills then? Also, you think so that we parents that we for blame? We parents that we go do anything when and for say most of the people in our Sido when our parents them you think say the minister Siba no go do anything so far even send me picking abroad for making go study or even do any kind of thing for making picking get good education. You think so if they ask you as parents say say you as parents if you give some money for you picking start if you go pass you think say me parents no go you think say parents no go do that for them picking them and and then also we dey talk about the digital world. We know for say parents them right now we school them right now instead of them say buy textbook we say na for buy phone for your pikin because we all know for say phone na the all thing there right now and then also the phone gets an advantage also a greater disadvantage so pikin them because parents dey monitor them pikin them again and all that stuff them and then also
Okay.
with all the heads of big people for education business area so who does now so for take accountability for examination malpractice na salon who does we want for all my house so that's my question ladies and sir.
Thank you very much. May Julius contesting for the presidency of Children's Forum Network. As I really glad we're there, and I'm glad for the perspective the way you don't bring up. But since you ask a direct question as a parent, if somebody go ask me, say, la, pay money for let me pick him pass over my dead body. Over my dead body. I'm not sabi for bringing that conversation to me, papa. From where they go up. I'm not crazy for go tell me, papa. My papa, people they know I been teaching independence for many years. And the thought of that day for counts and say, they go ask me, papa, say, well, papa, for let me say pass, all man they do, he go tell me, say, me not to all man. Now I make a day so today. Any parents will they join hands for pay for them picking cheats. That parent they not to the picking leg, now the picking they destroy. Minister, before we come to Alfonso Manley, he asked a very direct question. Maybe you want to clarify on people with disabilities, kids who are visually impaired, when they send them forcefully out of the formal school system directly into tech voc.
You know, there are quite a lot of assumptions. So, before I answer that, let's go back to the curriculum. Why academia? And they go attest to which are they say. The WAEC rules say when you introduce a new curriculum, it will take 3 years before you assess them picking in the under curriculum. This exam will take, we get two pathways. We get the one pathway when I be the new curriculum, where again, I just tell you, say it will take 3 years before you take the exam. So the idea that we change the curriculum inside 1 year, it's not accurate. The second is the fact that we really say some school and don't do that. It is on that basis for save a crisis. We went back to why and make a case that we need to bring back the old curriculum and let the two pathways then go together. That's why we don't get a
So
crisis.
each school they choose.
Each school they choose. So if they don't misinform the students, they still get now the opportunity for just say to the student, and you don't go back to the old curriculum, continue for work with the old curriculum. So we get that facility there for 2 years. This year now it will be the end of that facility there. So it is not right. You know, the system not perfect. But I can tell you one thing, I don't think that this business for long. I sometimes can shame myself for see how long I don't go. Because if I talk about how long I don't think that the business, some people already at this stage are the experience is big person. So anything will come now this system. I can't tell you say I will get 100% too. But I go sit down with my team, now the ministry. We find solution. We look at various options. We approach people, and we not go understand how much down they go. Sometimes and then the last time we get problem with cars. Now the Nigerians they now go talk to. And me they do that and they all behind the scenes. I know they talk Boku. And they try for us to make sure say this system not ever get any problem. We just introduce life practicals. After 7 years of absence, we not tell you say perfect too, but we spend over $500,000 for make sure say that exam day happen. We get 110,000 students that we take science subjects and we take practicals this year. There's no crisis. We got to look at the results and we go learn from that, but accurate. This other thing about
Visually impaired.
visually impaired. Let me tell you one interesting thing. 2 years ago, a group of visually impaired students came to me now 3 years ago, because the new education officer not be quiet. Then come meet me and complain, say, for the last 3 years, they know they pass exam for go university. This is an academic subject. They need to pass. So I instructed the then chief education officer. I say, follow we sit down with them PKR, we look waiting at them problem be. What we find out was that the school they not be the tell we say the beginning get them blind. So what did happen? We they submit the beginning like normal beginning. Then when they go, then go you go find out say the beginning blind. Then even they submit cast marks for beginning where they can't if you blind, you visually impaired, you cannot do maths. Then we test one new method for do maths for 1 year. But we get marks for people that we get we get marks for people that go do maths. So we review the system there and then. To be honest, work was very collaborative in that process. We put what we call reasonable adjustments for them to we visually impaired. You know what happened? Then begin pass. Then come back to me. They can't tell me. I meet them one other thing na one hotel na beach where we get on inclusive education. They say we thank you for who listen to them and we respond to them. So this idea about pushing them down the vocational line, I am not aware of it. If that is the case, anybody who is visually impaired in that situation, please come back to me. Let we have no say that this they happen at the system and let we try for fix them. But as far as I am aware, I am not aware of that. And last but
And then also the policy. There's no policy by this government to do that.
And last but by no means the least, since you talk about technical and vocational education, we ministry now, we don't get problem with technical and vocational education. Alfonso, I watch the clip there. So you talk about the fact that we abolish Becker because the whole idea behind the 6334 was that they get to the senior secondary school, they get two pathways, general academic and then the vocational.
Technical, yeah.
And you say the technical not they happen. let me give you confirmation. See, we dey work with MasterCard, and we dey bring them back with a vengeance. We dey pilot and attend schools, and we dey try for getting money. As soon as they announce that, they go come back to the public and tell the public, wallahi, whatever happened, we the first. This one, what we talk about, they do and they prove am.
Thank you very much, sir. Madam Minister, I want to add one sentence there, and then we come to Alfonso.
I
Yes.
just want to add to the TVET component.
No, fine.
So we get the issue with the TVET tutors in our schools, TSC, whether or not they're for the TSC or not. We don't create now under we regulatory agency, NCTVE, a department for teacher recruitment and management. So they get signed for monitor them and for getting the support. Thank you.
And the one more thing where I would just say now that teachers, then payment when they come on time. You can get a conversation about how much then they pay them. But under President Bill, public sector workers are paid on time. So, Madam President, I just want to make sure say we can make the claims they will make, but we can make sure say then claim then we there for make sure say like how the minister say we clarify. With the council of civil society, they will come back to now, they will come interact more with the audience. Alfonso will get comments on most of the things they were there now. So instead of the 3 minutes, we'll give 5 minutes. So go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to thank the Ministry of Civic Education for this very, very important town hall meeting, because it's really, really important. Education, I go take you from one stage to another stage, and that pathway continuum, you will see prosperity. Now, me want focus, because I don't do a lot of discussion on education, and I believe that the states they listen. Me want focus with they cause this malpractice and no solution will get, so it will stop. Now, majority of the people that will prepare for OCT exam, then they go another examination for the half aid empty. They don't know what's in and go right. And that is the biggest challenge we must solve. How? In a school system, you have what is called education, measurement, and evaluation. That's one. Two, in the school system, you have what is called assessment. And in the school system, we also get what it take for the one the way they teach the picking them for ensuring say they are properly trained, they are afraid with the curriculum, they are afraid with the syllabus, then get scheme of work, then they prepare lesson notes, then get lesson plan for deliver the lesson, and they are well motivated. Let's start now the first one. When them picky don't go from one, I want left the primary first. When the teacher give the picking assignments for gonna host, where they can submit the assignments, if you submit the assignment with 50 loan, you don't get 60 straight. Now the reality at the talk, when you submit the assignment with 100 loan, you don't get 70 straight. Now this speaking a depend JSS1, a depend JSS2, a depend JSS3. And the school now they get a system for assessment picking there. In assessment, we get two types. We get the formative assessment when that normal test work they give them for say this topic I don't teach you, and they assess you and see how they perform. And this type of assessment, what they give them test, we get test retest method, we get the parallel method, we get the split half method, we get the Kutzan Richardson method for assess them, for understanding that they take in. When we don't miss that one day, we allow the picking for go attempt exam. You don't know how, if you understand what you don't teach them, you don't assess them for no say, then they above the examination, then go teach, then go there. When they picking reach at the hall, the only thing then they look for now for access the network of examination malpractice people the way they A, MBSSC, 2, security apparatus, 3, WIC, number 4. I know they call teacher, they because I say teacher, then they all on the MBSSC, and then creature them, and they employ them for teach them picking there. So MBSSC, because they has the responsibility. Now you got the Teaching Service Commission. Me go tell you say the TSC, as civil society, they monitor education. From the appointment of, yes, Conrad do well there, because at a time may be so challenging for certain that do very well. or from where land scanning, the aspects where teaching service commission not even that kind of resources them get for support teaching service commission. Therefore, don't do pass with so because the very first time I experienced and trained all class 1 teacher, class 1, class 2 teacher, no left because of the very fact say President Bill, the UN Secretary get 5 champion of education. And it choose as foundational learning. So this malpractice, let we make town hall meeting, we make all kind meeting. If they're not teaching picking they are, they assess them. Don't we ensure say before they go sit, we say, okay, you prepare well, go sit exam. It always go to get malpractice. That's number 1. Number 2, when teacher they teach, first of all, I'm glad the number 1 thing they call for the school heads them. Because I get some principal them where they sit on the office for morning. Say school common, they come inside the office, and then they sit down. The only thing they see them where parents can for can do admission. They do admission from term 1 to term 3. Every day they do admission at school. Every day them principal them they do admission. Now, what's not the role? If you don't get the curriculum, first of all, are the bigger documents, when are the ministry they design that curriculum? So now this area and this area and this area for teach. Inside that curriculum, each subject they go to they call syllabus. That syllabus the teacher for prepare they call scheme of work. Week 1, now this our achieve. Week 2, now this our achieve. Week 3, now that's the scheme of work they submit to the head of the department where they can go to the principal. So when the principal then in office, they gonna say week 1, pangeography, now this is for cover. Week 2, pangeography, now this. So if they call you week 5, they say, Usa you there now? They look you scheme of work. Wait till you tell I say, now this I say, no, but this is scheme of work we prepare. This way they tell me so week 5. Now week 2 if I don't do them. What's not the issue? You discuss, you move on. But the beginning they go attempt examination half empty. Then na NPSC, na Beke, na was because of the laziness. Where the teacher, and also all teachers, so most of the teacher them, now for pay and pass, pay and pass, pay and pass. Lastly, who's our ministry their own kind side? Minister Conrad do very well with one thing I will always applaud him from the sector. We always make the complaint for English language. But he always tell us, say, Minister, anything they do with we're not in the education sector plan. Don't know for let them put money for the sustainability and continuity is difficult. Then go give that first money for introduce the program. It gets a whole conference for English language. Maybe I go here and understand that conference day. What you want to do, they mark the paper, bring out. If me sit down before President Bill for say one of the solutions to this education business, now this kind of conference will address English language because it's a compulsory subject, irrespective of the scheme where they for making it to the university, you get for pass English. The ministry also, they get what they call squams for monitor school. Inside the school system, you get board of governors for secondary school. One of the most powerful committee, now the visitation committee. When the visitation committee go to school, they look at teacher attendance, they look at scheme of work, they look at the register, they look at how they run the entire school. The minister now they get that information there for take decision. The SQA they went at them board and they send them reports and they go give the minister for say, and he Walsh. Then they try, but when it comes to this, now they lack, now they make progress. Then the minister they get that report say. So there is a whole gap between the board and the ministry administration. And when they look at the power of the board so gets power, but the same work with the board for they do, the ministry they do. So the principal and then they regard the board. When the ministry, when the school get issue, and they call direct the DD, you say, Alpha, now this problem I get. And then they call the board chairman, and the board responsible for the implementation of policies. So they get that gap. So me, for solve malpractice, teach the picking the well. Assess them well. When you assess them well, you go know say this speaking is prepare for write this exam or not. Other than that, it let you do awareness. Say left malpractice, then go put in a court. No go stop because the picking then they go half 8 empty. Now the examination. Now that aspect they will for work on for ensure say teacher teaching well, motivate teacher for doing job very well. NASIT, the last one, try NASIT. One of the biggest contributors to NASIT, na teacher them. The current act not permits NASIT for bill quarter for teacher them, but you can go and change that, not to stone. Now law, they go one change constitution. So you can get the documents for say When you don't get place like a Falaba, Koinadugu, then remote salary teacher need they give for Sidom. Build 2 women para, 3 women para, take them to them benefits. When that teacher don't get quarter, it they teach it at all. You know, sir, not for again going to my practice for begin fair money for buy cement or bills. When teacher and buy freezer, they will get scheme for the winner higher purchase. Who's teacher will put 23 million buy freezer? But then get outside they go make undertake. He said this teacher going to pay for this freezer 200,000 for month, 200,000. So you go get freezer.
All
So
right.
on that note,
So
this malpractice, me as CSO, where this education sector, I understand them very well. And I do my masters now in education. Now, Mr. Me don't make I go do and go sit down for talk. Then say I not read education. So I go read and now so when we say the talk, I get authority for talk for solve the problem. So dear
Alfonso Manley, thank you very much, my brother. Like I say, it's a the sector. I work in the civil society, and I make the government. By the way, I just say not to so this country in the we president you don't make so they can sit on so together. ACC commissioner, principal, minister, civil society, WAEC. For who they go up now, yeah, not been the zoo. Not to so. Eh? For leo can they talk to we all my talk to we I want we talk to who save young person fire we teacher fire we all who clap who laugh. This is a new culture of democracy. We will proud of us alone. We want continue for maintain. The only way this to succeed now we will treat her with respect and we respect each other. We get frank, tough conversation. But everybody learn from each other. Me said I learn a lot from all man today. Now I want to turn for continue the same speed. Yeah, the simple rule, oh, they can follow. Oh, give you the mic at the time. You talk for 1 minute. At exactly 1 minute, I pull the mic now you are. So we'll allow the first round at the try for take up to 10 to 12 people. Okay? So I will let one talk, you put up your hand. When I point, you talk. Okay? So will they take 10? This first one first. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Yellow is white boy. They give you number 4, number 5. The gentleman with the cap. Okay. Low with 5. The next 5 will be cancel. Low 2. So I'm not going to forget the one that we get the number there. Remember on the number the logo. Una please take notes. So we'll comment and respond. Yeah.
Yeah. My name now Mahmoud Sila I watch online. My question will go to the Minister of Higher Education. He talked about digital platform. He said digital platform they address the exam malpractice. Now, the question, Diana, is that if we are moving to digital platform or the technology, the mind behind the technology or the digital platform we are going to use, how do we control these people who are going to be behind the digital platform?
All right. Thank you, sir. Number 2, Pakamaya.
Mohammed Kamara. The Watch and the Humanity newspaper. SLTU. We in the journalism look at ethics and media law. You promote you talk. You want to say SLTU and see professional get ethics for follow. Principal sir, chairman. Academy teacher will say better to be than to seem. But what you talk now, you can for when I say human behavior predictable, not cover the principles. Accept what the commissioner says. Yes, indeed, the principles that participate in body and corruption in this country. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Truth Media next.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is David Aspen Solomon. I report for Truth Media. My question to go for WAEC. So WAEC, it wouldn't be a coincidence that the president wants him up before the country in Makeni for the second time and talk say yes, he gave evidence say WAEC, Kumgarem, they involved in malpractice. I want for just ask when I say what one they do because the president been say again evidence is the way tied down to Dandy. What una they do for see that say una we praba name the una get that name una don't already get, no matter what una say before we president not talk she not believe una, we self not believe una. Waiting at the way forward for see that say next year examination we not go say paper leak again, we not go say picking and the pace invigilators for money. Thank you.
Thank you very much. White boy in the next 1 minute.
Minister, I mean a white boy, being a citizen. I want to talk to the teachers there. Some teachers there, they teach to school where the pikin and kid don't in a classroom. They wait for the teachers. And the teacher can left the school and go teach other school. Waiting the minister they do towards that pikin, that teachers there.
Thank you, white boy. Number 4, the man with the cap.
Good afternoon, everybody. Me, your name is Charles Mansari. The Minister of Information actually say we clap now with the SLTU minister. Boss be making points because they will try for support corruption, but that's not the case. As we all London house would clap because of he make that particular point out of 5 say corruption at this country in terms of education, and because of one of the things and the way the teachers know they get enough salary, and that's for say yes, because majority carries the vote. 1, 2, 3, 4 will not actually disagree. But my question is to the minister, Mr. Saki. What do you think? Do you not think that if we get increase and the teacher salary, that's going to reduce corruption? Because we get country like Denmark, Uzbekistan, or I don't know the country name, we for say thank you. We before say teachers they get enough salary, but they get low corruption in terms of education. So what when I do towards the teacher salary when it's here for increasing or waiting?
Whose school you go, sir?
I am not in school.
Whose institution?
From Rice Radio.
Rice Radio, thank you. All right, now come on this side now. Play the hand and go up, so we don't get 5. We'll do the next 5 and then we'll come back to the panel. I just want to get more and more voices. So we'll go start with the 2 people in front here from the media. 1, 2. Number 3, the gentleman. You get representative at the panel, so it talk for you. So we get 1, 2. Philippa, I don't see her. Number 3, the lady. I want more women. Number 4, the other lady with the wig over the under. And then number 5, the person where you hand the last behind with the glasses. Okay? So let's try them one in the first.
Ibrahim Sarasisi, Voice of Salon Radio. Let's go back to the Minister of Education, Mr. Conrad. Taking a look at we don't visit over 5 schools in a free term first. The teachers do not get lesson notes, do not get register. And when you look at them, Nakisi in general, my colleagues then they will visit the schools them. So waiting una they do with una quality assurance officers them for visit then schools then they where then teachers they go, no get register, no get lesson notes, and even when we go they don't know the teach to begin them. Another question back to you. There are schools them in Freetown where they take more picking them for take worse. But from JSS to SSS, school picking and all. I'll give you evidence after ya. Yeah. So that one the idea. Now go now to the teacher, the SLTU. I taught for good 10 years in secondary school. I know the system. First, we've been getting what they call the teacher code of conduct. When I was in school, when I was teaching by then. The teacher code of conduct, it gets a lot of things that we talk about bribery, we teacher accept. Waiting on the teachers they don't do for able curtail the system they are between una self way the corruption system they play.
Okay. The code of conduct now also. Thank you very much.
Okay. Of course, when I Samson Salon Network. I want to talk to the minister. Say, they might be don't teach for 40 years and never corrupt, but at the same time, they fail to realize the dynamics of the world. Then the woman papa they just back to say, like just try for feed me picking them. But now you can see say we give me where there's so many blogger. I not get my left blogging for go teach because salary you know able buy this phone for me when up to 10 to 15 million. Then the moment papa they don't get phone. They mean they just sell potato make for the market and sell for feed we. Things them been very minimal transportation and them they get teachers and lift but now nobody gonna get teacher lift. You dey pay for yourself and go. Okay, so now I come to the implementation of technology for minimize examination malpractice. Now we dey forget say why get technology we very advanced, but there is still malpractice. If we go to NRA, they get the ASICODA system, but you go see say corruption still dey na NRA. So for let them bring the technology, not get for, I mean, that kind of way reduce the malpractice. It just get for do with the humans, right? Getting the conscience say, I for do the right thing. Most times I can talk say Sierra Leoneans, we don't normalize the bad things. Then we don't just take and say it's just normal for us to do something we wrong in the society. This get for do with, I mean, we the citizen them. We just get for gather so much civic education in the kids for we if we build a better society.
Thank you. Number 3, next round. I'll respond, of course, but yeah.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Luke. I come out from the Human Capital Development Consortium. Now, so we Minister of Education, the two, with 22% where we don't dedicate to the ministry. How many percent they go directly to the teachers and when are the frontline workers? Because we believe, say, government can bring out the policy of the free education, but for let the education get that quality, now the one that we in at the field where they work directly. So how many percent per that 22% where we don't give with teachers and directly, we go make whether not salary or whether not benefits we give in terms of motivation, how many percent directly we give with frontline workers? God bless you.
Thank you very much. The lady here, yes. And then the next two after that. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Your name na Admire Toure. My question to go for the board na always Admire. So my question is, if a student engages in malpractice because of maybe pressure from parents, teachers, and society, so that we go succeed, how una go address the responsibility and rights of we the picking them? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The lady with the blonde hair, Dandy, right? I'm a bit color challenged. Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Vika Sise, and I dey online as Queen Sufi, and I post everything where they add positive impact to my country. And then my own first question is, most time we parents then can tell we say, oh, back then we your education system you had this reporting spy. I mean, waiting change from the system back then to we all we get right now because the world is advanced. So why we go back instead of we improve more on how for totally dismiss malpractice and other things the way they bring threat to quality education. So we're struggling about sorting all of this out. And then another thing is, what do we all dey do for actually tackle these causes of malpractice and also other things where they bring can threat to quality education? And I be actually take part of IPAM exams, and actually the system we commendable. Just that we need for add more in ensuring say and bring out what we would expect. Because that day we get some of trouble with the system going off, coming on. So there's more to do, but that's a good one. So to the other aspects, what would they do for tackle all of this? Thank you.
Thank you so much. The final question, the lady with the glasses at the back, and then we'll come. We'll see how we do, and then maybe we'll do another round.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This question is going for the Anti-Corruption Commissioner. Yes, sir. So when you were talking, you stated that anti-corruption is not responsible to look into these malpractices going around schools during examination. For me, what I believe the roles and responsibility of anti-corruption is to look into these things and know how to implement this embezzlement of all, because that is misuse of funding. Imagine now a parent paying a teacher to get access to these things. Secondly, to WAEC, How do you justify that? You know, when the question came, you don't know how where paper they leak. That is not, you know, even justify. Papers they come on before you even sit them. Once sit them back when they fail, so pass. But imagine say paper don't come on. I forgot sit them Wednesday, come on Tuesday. They don't study everything. I go sit them back and fail. That is not justified because I don't spy. You understand? I don't study. I don't spy. Say this question they come. I go see her answer them. But on a fail me back for day. And the last question they go to Madam Wuri for the digital thing we want for implement. That is fine because I actually do am na IPAM for ICT. I sit am online. But you know the disadvantage? I will get two phones. The one phone they provide the answer for me. The other phone I dey use them for seats. So you cannot call that particular implementation credible because some of us are with many machines. And they use the computer for seats. I take the phone, I go the IF, I go to implement the answers them. So look into that and know how to increase teacher salary for all of these arguments for laying done.
All right. Excellent. Now this make we organize this town hall. So all these issues will come out. And we as a society go see the kind of society who they can build. And I will all go solve this problem. Keynote speakers, I will give una 3 minutes for respond. And then I will give the other panelists then 2 minutes for respond. Okay? So who one go first? 3 minutes each. You want to start? All right. You can use less if you want to be generous. So we'll keep them on.
Thank you very much. I'll start with, I think all the questions I get to do with the proposed examination platform. So all the one that we asked that question, Mr. Silla asked about the people in the end platform, how they ensure say they are not compromised. We just have to ensure so we develop a framework where you get clearly defined roles and responsibilities. You get a platform where different people can get different levels of access. So if there's any breach, you know that responsible. And this not of us in a novelty, it's tried and tested in other countries. So we even learn from their own experience. So we're not reinventing the wheel.
Including how to stop the 2 phones.
Yes, all done day. We go work with regulatory agency. I believe I see somebody from the Tertiary Education Commission inside the room. Okay, TC is represented, NCTV is represented. So we go work with the 2 regulatory agencies then in developing that framework the way we all understand, we own and then implement. And then somebody, the lady with the gray Brazilian, talk about the platform, now IPAM, and then you say it can get glitch. Then we get to expect with technology. Some things are out of our control. And we anticipate when we start something new, there's bound to be teething problems. But though we learn from them and use the lessons learned for scale them up. And to the last speaker, we also talk about exams, like IPAM, ICT. To be honest with you, I'm disappointed because you're publicly accepting that you engage in malpractice. Point I made earlier about it's becoming the norm, not a thing where we for publicly talk about, somebody make the statement by Okay. I know we're all passionate about the topic. Somebody make the comment say malpractice, goal where you engage in malpractice, it leads to success. Malpractice is not success. I can tell my students in our commerce for deterring. If I know see you engage in malpractice, I like you become the best doctor to my when I see you the first thing I remember for see you engage in malpractice. Are the first thing that before I think of anything else. So yes, I'm glad so you bring up say dancing and they can happen. So we go put measures in place for say nobody no go examination, you're not going out with phone safe. So now the system will they build not online, not by your phone you do your exam. Your phone not secure. Now multifunctional ICT spaces them, computers that we don't vet. So they're able to get access to the internet for answer question. Now
Foreign
that
material.
system they with its guy for bill. Even now when you take exam, you're going with phone or foreign material. You go with phone or foreign material, now automatic malpractice, Dandy. So we go take all that into consideration and develop a system where we will all be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Minister Conrad, you get quite a few comments and questions, so go for it.
Okay, let me start off with white boy first. He say teacher then they work na to school we are aware that be they happen, and so we develop a new project called Widea. We now for use tablets and for make the teacher do the registration. Then they use them fingerprints for make them do that registration day, and then tablets then they get GPS coordinates. We mean to say if you do that and they outside of the school, then go see who side you do that and they. It will then provide a dashboard for the TSC, the ministry, and myself for able to see how teacher then they attend that school. If you absent for like 6 terms consecutively, we don't set up a panel where the union self depend, we're going to say we take care of the payroll. So that's using a digital solution to address that particular problem there. And it means to say you not get human beings that we go where you go pay money and then go left you. The second thing, somebody talk about increase in salary. During the time where this government don't in power, for any teacher where they between scale 6 and under, then don't increase salary by 80%. For the one where they above scale 6, then don't increase salary by 75%. I also know that the Wages and Compensation Commission don't engage the union, and the person where they really chair and they now be the former secretary general of the union. I don't see who that get for flex for the union or for teacher them better than that person. But I also hear it today no my you say they copy me inside one letter. I don't want to talk about that letter today, but they say they copy me, so not to me you write to the TSC. But the IRE say you copy me into it. The second one, they say you visit 5 schools, then get less, they know they do lesson notes, they know they do register, then quality assurance, waiting to happen to the quality assurance officers. 2 things. Firstly, we just give quality assurance officers there motorbike, we mean to say we give them fuel back. So that thing with them they can't tell we say, oh, we not get bikes, we not get fuel, we don't give all man. You go see, if you go to my Facebook, you go see where we don't go hand down over. But in addition to that, there is something new where we do now. We leadership group, the senior management group, the new quality assurance director, they present a monthly report where they tell you on every quality assurance officer where they operate now with system. Almost school and visit, almost school and not visit yet. The challenges that we come out of the school and so we as a leadership team were able to respond to that. So this is a new approach that we don't take. We don't capacitate them, but in addition to that, we monitor them now going forward. The other thing where somebody mentioned is say in the lower levels, beginning within at the lower level, they're smaller than the one within at the worst class. We're aware of that. We don't try to tackle this problem. Now that make we get the principal and for sign the undertaking recently. But even that undertaking, it comes with some significant problem. One of the problems that we don't carry it, because we say there is a maximum of 2% absence we'll go accept. People then go inside the exam, they write the names of the candidates, now the script, and then there is nothing in that script. You know the disadvantage of that? If the candidates not come, now the exam, we know the counter where they look at performance. The fact that the candidate can inside the exam, then write in name, that candidate be there inside the exam. We mean to say that candidate fail. So when the results come out this time round, we go see say now at what level if it go down depress we performance rate. So that the worst type of crime you can commit. Waiting, I think sometimes we school leaders they don't understand, and constantly I talk to them, but they don't understand. The technology what they use is so advanced. If you get even ChatGPT, you put a document inside, you go able to know whether that same the handwriting are the same. So the ability for make we catch you when you dey that kind of nonsense, it's very easy. And I don't go one for talk self, who side we dey go with the handy. But with the wait. The next one at the go pan is this one about the teacher code, conduct, and what else should they do? I just talk about the WAEC Act. The WAEC Act, what they count with? It count with 3 levels of system. What did happen before the exam? So when they put you cast and all that, and what did happen during the exam if paper leak and waiting? And what did happen after the exam? This is where somebody then go try for change marks and all that. All of that under the WAEC bill they address. But in addition to that, as a town I just know, just before I this meeting, I get leadership meeting with my leadership team, we dey go through the TSC Act. And what I don't ask them for do, now for make sure say that act they replicate what in there the Basic Education Act will pass 2023. But in addition, it also aligned with the WAEC Act. So we dey tighten up the school for the action they will be able to take, so the law will able to support you. Then talk about the implementation of technology. Before I left the TSC, we introduced the licensure. I remember we go Ghana, we go look at their own system. But their own system, when they do the exam, now lecturer then they go mark the paper. Me, I never want to lecturer and mark the paper. Because the reason why we introduce the licensure now, because we will not be too satisfied with the quality of the people that will come out from the universities. So what we do now, Salon, different from Ghana, we make a computer-based assessment. Like what me colleague be they tell you say they happen now IPAM. So we get a question bank of about 10,000 questions. When you go take the exam, we only take the exam now, we all then have your own computer or tablet. The questions that we all get is different. So if you spy for me, not even answer, not even question you answer. And when you click the button, when you submit, you don't get the results immediately. So this is not how we can use technology to address the problem. I understand that there are schools in Nigeria don't begin to try for use computer-based assessment for even when they take WAEC exams. And this year, to be honest with you, with a little bit of resources, we go begin to small. We go use that. Anything will happen. We go one stage ahead. We go and we will be the most digitized examination system as possible with the resources that we get.
Thank you, Minister.
I just want one other thing, because I think this is something they count quite often. 22%. 22% of the budget that between the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education and the Basic Education are with the share. But let me tell you, what me big ticket items na my ministry. I they call them the 3 S's. There are salaries for teachers, subsidies for schools, and school feeding. When you look at them three, then it don't take 98% of the budget. So just for us inform you what will they do with that 22%.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Commissioner.
Well, one question say the question they ask basically if we ACC not involved. The point where I make not to that we ACC not the treat examination malpractice as integrity issue. In fact, we treat them. And inside we act, we get the power for investigate, which includes arrest, detention, and prosecution. And right now, as I speak with you, people that are in custody, when they do the indictment, for charge them to court for examination malpractice. So we involve. But the point where I don't make clear, and why they know this. We MOU with everybody, almost all the sectors that were there, including the civil society, including WAEC, the ministries. We get with the all, SLTU and all. We not to examination invigilators, not to responsibility for invigilate public exams. And at that day, the public will be one turn way into. I don't tell you, I say we only become very active. We basically militarize the process because at that time nobody was listening to us. We were basically saying this examination malpractice, the kind level way they right now, is going to destroy the fabric of this nation if we do not take drastic action. And that's why nobody will pay attention. But then After the cutlery incident, everybody got our attention, and now we don't take back seat again. And that back seat did not mean say we're not involved, but we prefer now let minister refer to we, let Wayek refer to we, let Alfonso refer to we, or the various actors that I refer to we. One time we self can go around for go check within the happen, and then that we roll, and then our responsibility. But for expect say now we they go for go invigilate examinations, that is not correct. And I don't make sure say I communicate that to all stakeholders, and I communicate that to my team as well. We will only provide support. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kaifala, I want maybe ask you a quick follow-up question on this notion of, I know for say, you safe, you get pay, you papa na be teacher, not so?
Yes. Every papa, yes, people, like you say, I can enjoy people that say they say Ben Kaifala hate teachers. No, I don't. My papa, Mr. Ben Kaifala, na be principal na Penembo Vocational Secondary School, PVSS in
Yes,
Ghana.
I know this.
So I
So
come
wait,
from
I want to comment on
Yes.
briefly. Now, this notion say people needs in the 80s is somehow inferior to people needs today. It's actually not it's a very common mistake when we born and make. Every generation thinks say your own needs are so unique, is superior to the generation we did before.
That's
It's a very
sociological.
common mistake anybody can make.
Yeah.
But maybe just comment on that in terms of
Me just believe say the conditions have always been there. People always they always be unhappy with their salaries, with their wages. If you look at teachers in those ages, if you speak to them, they will tell you the same things. But like I think many actors that had already said this, it did not lead them for do the kind of things they already see now. But maybe there are other structural issues we need to look at, and the principal made reference to it, the recruitment, the one that when they come into the profession, how they are coming. How are people becoming principals after 1 year of teaching? Or sometimes directly from university? How are proprietors of schools just getting anybody who is being a teacher and putting them into places, and some of them are criminals. So those are all structural issues them who we need to look at and then for deal with.
Thank you very much. Minister, you want to say something quickly on that?
Yes, just very quickly. I don't hear this before. I forget for mentioning. So two things they happen. One, we get a school leadership policy where they go to cabinet in the next cabinet meeting, where they address that issue there, because we're aware that there is the possibility of that happening if you get private school we then turn into an approved school. So that will be addressed that. But in addition to that, we capacitate the school leaders as well. I have always, always believe that the biggest side where you can spend smart money per education as school leadership, because your school leader now in a set the tone at the school.
There's a lot of evidence on that actually
Yeah.
across schools in the world.
So
yeah.
we get some money from the British there. We do a new framework we call a competency-based school leadership program. Then that train, I think if I'm right, about 4,000. And then we now through MasterCard, we will continue that training day and make sure say that they continue for make we get quality school leaders.
Thank you very much. This time I start on this side. I start with Wayek. You have a few questions. You get 2 minutes quickly.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope the madam will make mention of the president in statement. Of course, now the four gentlemen of the country, and we make that
The
statement.
mic up small.
I know say the statement don't begin bear fruit. Now we don't get a gathering like this. We are in for know the strategy then we will implement, follow we tap then thing and day. Of course, we all know now say na integrity issue. So therefore, we all na Yahweh Sidom, not to just for clap we one person top. We get a responsibility. Whether you're a teacher, you're a parent, WAEC officer, minister, we all na parent that we get responsibility for play when we dey conduct exams. So go na the field and make sure say you see waiting they happen. Then of course, examination malpractice, we know they condone that. Don't give instance where the commissioner make mention of, I don't make clarification. We sit down here, then catch me with that day, I know they above the law. Get evidence against me, present her any side, then go call me side, then for call me, then from there, then go subject me to questioning. of course, people and they with the right now with the commissioner don't attest to. So therefore, waiting me they assure the general public now say we still dey continue for uphold the integrity that institution they and no if anybody there we old pass for but over 74 years if we get anybody now so which means say we great people them don't be at the pressure don't fight hard for let them maintain them and we self now we own regime with the appeal let it be a national concern to everybody though we not damage them at we own level.
Thank you. Alfonso, 2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you very much. So firstly, let's look at the MTHE. Well, in terms of the MTHE, they don't do something very, very important. People then they look at this technical vocational qualification for say now HND go stop. However, people then also the national qualification framework now they don't make a pathway where if that man self to go get PhD by technical vocational, you self for go get PhD. And now kudos to the ministry. The Ministry of Technical and Higher Education on top of system strengthening, very, very important. You know, the work well done, the only issue with me and not being keep and meeting my guy, but we'll go solve down there. But the minister, we don't go to the ministry, Madam Ramatu, I don't make a lot of transformation. The scholarship, the way the issue very transparent, the loan scheme very transparent. I will commend them for that. But the issue of my guy will not be on the same page. Lastly, 3 important short.
You better take a walk to the water side. Can you meet around the water side? Love the fish, we get them every day. Can you meet around the water side? Love the fish, we get them every day. So if you wanna get a bunga fish, you better take a walk to the
government they push towards quality education for all picking, and then also for this opportunity as then the big platform for also plead with government for budgeting for children's farm network so as we go for going to schools and for synthesize we could be picking them about examination malpractice and how exam they go, and then also for also plead again for funding for we national elections for the children's farm network because we are children and we don't have money, and then funding to the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs so that we're able to conduct the elections time.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I join in that request there.
Can I go to something?
Okay, quickly, please. So I will go to
Just very quickly. I think Alfonso, if I think say they don't inform me, say Ministry of Finance, though give me that incident.
alerts. The bank don't.
Yes.
Don't alerts.
The second one is
Finance don't perform. That's what the minister say.
the second one.
Yes.
This unique learner ID. You know, so we signed an undertaking in the last delivery clinic, and one of the things that we sign up to. So we will work on that.
Professor, you don't hear this conversation. I really like your initial analysis, Bingi. So I'll come to you now for based on everything you don't hear. What's your analysis? They will come to you to teacher there. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Minister. Somebody say what number the difference? I mean, we own 10 and they own 10. Well, like I would call, I mean, the education system is embedded in the economy. You know just eng, the Israeli economy. Yeah. So, for example, and quality education etc. You know, only they start at the schools. Where's the education? Madam, if you say now we don't go to school. But for example, if the king get for a worker a couple of miles for go take 5-gallon water during the morning for a couple of hours before you go to school, it tire one. No amount of the living all the way you go do, where you go make that picking day go understand. If you come back, they don't get a assignment. The light not there for make you do an assignment, you know, the quality education could be affected. And if you get work another 2-3 miles for going to school, it will still affect the quality education. Now make this government in very wisdom and very observe. The president don't invest heavily in and try for with World Bank projects for make sure say when you open you tap water go come on. So you go to school, you fresh, you go prepare for receive the delivery.
With a feed in school.
Then it all try for the amount of investment in energy. Very soon in this country. by the end of this year or very early next year, if you touch your light could be. So you could get all the time for study. Then when they see the transportation system where they don't invest in. So that'll be the difference me on time. I go to that very powerful school where they call CKC. We don't service CKC. Yeah. So I'll be there in a body home. Where I open the pump, water they come on. Where I put my light on, light they come. Where I go down the street, motor they come, bus they come, I jump inside. So I get enough time for make concentrate on my education. So now when they come back to that system, and I know say if you get that kind of attendance before you go to the class, your brain will be prepared for receive whatever delivery where they get for deliver. And the government they invest heavily in all of that thing they were mentioned.
Thank you so much, sir. Chairman, Conference of Principals. You don't hear all this conversation. A lot you've also been doing extensive framing for we. Which are your response to some of the concerns we don't hear?
Thank you very much. I go on for as we did, this is a frank discussion we don't at this town hall. I want to sincerely hope that it is continued. We are in people like we, the other people there, so no one know for a particular sector, and I will bring you on board. We can talk frankly. As I sit down here, the first thing I say, I don't know really whether as a council, so we sit down here, so all my principal there, no subsidy, no date, not some subsidy, no it. I don't know how Mr. Anti-Corruption, whether I'm malpractice or not corruption. So I don't know. However, really, Mr. Minister, to be very, very honest, there is a lot of collaboration in the deliveries, as we see. I listen, the minister, we talk certain changes, radical changes that we really don't happen. Consultation by bringing us. The other side, I mean, did the 98 self, they talk with the jump so go so Alfonso. We all did it. So that at least we can be able to bring out routine supposed to happen. Remember, a young man talked this now, and I say, I think things changes, yeah? And I say, they say, that's within the demand now as to the demand first and then it is. And so he said, this no. Well, that is his own way of thinking it. But integrity goes that far. Integrity goes that far. And integrity now gets to us teachers, as principals. We don't know wait. But you call me now, the teachers, they're there. So that's integrity, Professor. Yeah. Because we think, say, the money they come, we know say go can. But we know say we get certain thing for do now make my whole executive say go. No, I go discuss because nothing we not go catch up with, not they go along with. So that is why we are here. You understand me? Without no other thing to do. Like I say, the issue of undertakings and all of the other thing and the day, we get a very friendly CEO where they always take we party, always they consult we in whatever thing. Now we force go and listen to, so that we will be able to put things into perspective. At least in one man, I think that journalists say I want hide them principle because I know one hide principles. What I say there is a dichotomy between the principles those times and the principle now. Just like that one guy say, the demands now are plenty. I say them first and principle. Wait a minute, they go through these stages who have been just don't name. My uncle not been an inspector of school. We not been teacher. What do you mean sabi? Like I used to say, you people that have been school people, that at the 3-year time, let's just say they retire 3 years, 4 years as principal head teachers. These are the people that have been brought into the ministry. Then they bring them kind of the ministry. They can retire now, like 3 years and 4 years, which it been work better. You understand me? When they do it, because you study everything at the classroom. That 2 years where they can that ministry 3 years, go make yourself fake. You know, not 2 years they retire in the ministry now. But tell me how many people now are in the ministries who are squam officers and all of these things. Let we hide the thing at the bottom.
Sure.
Some of them don't even understand some of the things, so they don't go to the school.
Yeah.
Me uncle been the a school where you go sign at the ministry. Now the school now they can work. Now they off. So that you be able to get time for help the teacher on their lesson note, check your thing and from there you go to all those schools. But
Thank you,
really,
sir.
really, there is a lot to be improved. So
Thank
as
you.
one say, the teacher, the principal for that matter, as I say, we are always there to maintain integrity. The principle, that's not the bottom line. Any other one person will go that way now. Well, I don't know, sometimes not the other one. So as I say, still, Mr. Commissioner, so you will give me the two definitions of like
On the subsidies, eh?
Subsidies.
Thank you very much. So just to be clear, now subsidies are not paid for the third term. And somebody may ask the question, Mr. Kabo, on this code of conduct for teachers and other educational personnel. Luckily, Alfonso will get a copy of an I open and just now. Principle 5, he gets work ethics. He said teachers and other education personnel shall not engage in any unprofessional practices such as examination malpractice, favoritism, selling in classroom, bribery, corruption, and so